Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of my AllTheMods10 SSP playthrough. This might be a little bit ambitious for this episode, but I would really like to start the beginnings of an AE2 system. So the overall goal for this episode is to make more preparations towards that goal. To start though, I would like to go ahead and get the Silk Touch book in the to-do list that I have here marked off so we can go ahead and run and grab those hives in the future. So in order to do that, we are going to need to set up the slime spawner. I have just made a little bit of a area here within the base. We might, again, move this eventually, but we're going to set this up basically exactly like we did with the blaze spawner downstairs. So got some ingredients here for the spawner. Go ahead and hit it with the clocks and the sugar, and looks like that is now maxed out. We'll get it with the soul torch so it ignores light and do some redstone control. We'll go ahead. Oh goodness, they're already coming out. Put some ethereal glass here so they can't hit us or come out, so the small ones can come out. And yeah, we're already getting some slime balls. We'll go ahead and turn that off. And I hate in this mod pack that your screen gets like that whenever you get hit by a slime. It's a little bit ugh, in my opinion. But so good, that is now crossed off the list. I'll go ahead and put those items away here. Now the next thing I'd like to cross off the to-do list and let run for a little while is getting these mystical agriculture seeds set up. So in between episodes, we got enough Certus quartz to make the 4 1x blocks here needed to make these seeds. We are also very dangerously low on gold. I don't even have any gold ore in here to process, so just wanting to go ahead and make those seeds so we can get some passive gold generation. Now we'll go ahead and make the seeds just like last time. We'll just place the 4 down here. I believe the Certus quartz is tertium, and if you're not aware, if you have like the wrong crafting recipe, let's say I place, I don't know, that one there, there's not going to be anything if you look at here that's highlighted. So if you take that off and put that here, you'll see right by your crosshair, you'll see the Certus quartz seeds. So go ahead and make those. And boom, we got a quest reward. Now the one good thing about mystical agriculture is so whenever you get a seed, the rewards are basically only seeds. So I definitely recommend just making them one at a time, which is why I haven't made the gold yet. I do want to collect this quest reward before, because we got Azure Silver seeds, which that's actually very helpful because these are basically gatekept by the end. So we technically don't even need to go to the end to get those. And as I'm saying, I'm just collecting rewards and I'm getting seeds, again, as rewards. I've already gotten 4, so a lot of good ones. The nether quartz ones, ironwood, which isn't as helpful. I believe that is a goodness gracious, what is it called? Twilight Forest. Yes, a Twilight Forest item. And so yes, we don't really need to use those for anything in particular, and just unless we want to unlock the quest for it. And it looks like it stopped there because you don't only get seeds, you can also get, I believe, as we got the coal, the tertium coal, which isn't terrible, but I would have much preferred another seed as a reward, but can only get so far. And so we're going to go ahead and make the gold seeds. Again, these are, I believe, tier 4. That's what Imperium is. Let me look them up really quick. Yeah, tier 4. So each of the tiers, I believe I explained the last episode with the essence tiers. So just went ahead and made some tertium for these. And I actually don't know if we'll get a quest reward for these I got the tertium farmland as a reward for one of these down here, and so that has unlocked all of these seeds, but we do need to eventually make the inferium, prudentium, and imperium farmland in order to be able to claim these rewards kind of locked behind that. So the next thing I want to do before we actually plant these seeds is I want to get some more compressed iron ingots to make the crop support. So in order to do that, we actually need to blow up iron here. And so I'm going to just go ahead and go into the claims manager, go ahead and claim this chunk so that we can't blow it up. And go ahead and set that TNT off. Oh, shoot. Well, that was stupid of me. I didn't want my lever to blow up, but turning on the magnets got the iron. So I think I have one more piece of TNT. Yes, I didn't have enough gunpowder to actually make the TNT. But let's actually go ahead and try that again. I don't really care that much about the lever, so we will just go ahead, let it blow up. Boom, and there we go. Some compressed iron now. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio. As you can see, I only got 48 compressed iron back from the entire stack of iron that we set. I'll go ahead and unclaim that chunk, but with this, we can go quickly and create some more crop supports. So we'll come over here and plant all of these seeds that we have, because these are going to be good just to kind of have. And yep, these are chunk loaded as well. So plant, crop support. And we'll go ahead and collect the items we have in the chest as well. Let's see. Good amount of inferium. Some good coal and silicone. Believe we have enough to make 2 silicon. Not enough to make a coal yet. That is a-okay. Now, to get moving on with AE, or with our goal to get an AE system, we're going to need a lot of charged Certus quartz blocks. So, basically, for the early game, there's really only one way to get charged Certus quartz. I'll go ahead and show it. There are going to be better ways in the future to obtain the charged Certus quartz, like through the reaction chamber, but that takes a lot of power, of which we don't really have right now. We could do it, but I would also not like to use a full stack of Certus quartz at a time. So really the only other way is through the charger. Now, I don't want to use the hand crank for this. I don't want to sit here, crank it, and wait for it to charge. So we're actually going to make some just like ever so basic automation. So with the last of my steel here, and we will hopefully have a fix to that by the end of this episode, we are going to make some more advanced cables from mechanism, and we'll go ahead and make some advanced water cables since we have it, and dump the rest in here. And with this, I'm going to go ahead and connect this charger to the power like I said we could, and again, set up a little bit of automation. Let me it's in here. Yeah, I need to set up a hotkey for this. I'll do that at a later date, but would be helpful. And so what we are going to do is use, like I mentioned before, the pipes mod. I do like this mod a little bit more than mechanism. I feel like it's more resource friendly. So we're going to need the item pipes this time, so we'll make a couple of droppers and go ahead and make 16. It's again pretty cheap, 6 iron and a redstone and some cobblestone for 16 item pipes. And we are going to actually grab the item pipe wrench as well, because we're going to need to export these. And so what we will do, oh goodness, I'm forgetting everything today. We will go ahead and grab just 23 for demonstration purposes and put them in the chest up here. And so this will automatically pull the Certus quartz down here, and it'll charge it with the power that we connected. Then we can pump this out of here into a chest. Now, the reason why I know it's doing it properly now, and it actually might be smart and do it properly. I was actually thinking the charger does not work instantaneously, as you can see in Whale up there. It does stay as just regular Certus quartz for a little bit sometimes before actually turning to charged Certus quartz, as you can see there. But then sometimes it does it like instantly. I don't really know why. But for demonstration purposes, I still am going to make the filters. I was planning on making the advanced pipe filter and setting up a whitelist filter for the charged Certus. So first we'll make the basic upgrade filter. And as you can see, it does unlock the redstone mode up here, so you can control when this thing is getting powered. The next tier is the improved, and I am missing a little bit of redstone. I thought I counted properly. Get one more smidgen of redstone. And we can go ahead and make the next tier, and again with this tier you can now unlock round robin, or furthest first, nearest first, round robin, or random distribution. And with the third tier, and we're going to stop with this one, you do get to add the filter. So I'm going to search up charged Certus quartz, and you can drag this from AEI. You can also enter in the tag name or the MBT data. And I just typically like to drag and drop and press submit. I like to keep this as regular, so we're going to whitelist instead of blacklist, and then doesn't really matter with the MBT. And you can also change this here, whitelist to blacklist. But so we do have a lot of charged Certus quartz here. And so now, again, we don't really have true automation set up yet. But for at least the time being, if we just dump in some Certus quartz up here, it'll always get filtered out into here as charged. So I went ahead and moved the rest of my chests here and the storage drawers over to here. And we can now, since I added some extra chests as the quest book continues to load, go ahead and start collecting these quest rewards from Applied Energistics, as well as from Basic Logistics from when we made the pipes. And we'll go ahead and sort these. Now, as a quick side note, we are running dangerously low on ender pearls. So I want to get into the waypoints mod. Gateway mod. Gateways to Eternity? Yes, Gateways to Eternity mod. So basically with this mod, you have different types of gateways. One for Blaze, Enderman, Slime. I haven't really used this one. I guess Endless Blaze. I don't really use these too much, because by the time we get to, or I get to these, we have other avenues of resource gathering. But so for the Enderman Gateway, and for all of these, you have a certain number of waves that you can see at the top. For the Enderman one in particular, you have 5 waves, and you get a total of 100 Enderman loot rolls. And so you can see the different modifiers for each wave. If you press shift and you scroll with your mouse wheel, and you can see the number of Endermen that are coming in, number of experience that you'll get. So we'll go ahead and make this gateway. And we literally only have one other ender pearl from the quests that we've collected. And so, again, we're just going to use this to spawn in some endermen and get some free loot rolls. Now, you can do this legitly, and you can do it basically anywhere. But what I like to do is get near a water source for this. Honestly, you'll be fine doing this like out in the middle of the open. As long as you complete like 1 to 2 waves, really, you'll get back your input costs for making the gateway portal. However, I don't like failing, and I'll use any method possible outside of cheating, even if it is cheap. Though I don't have, if I'm honest, I don't have any sympathy towards Enderman anyways. They gave me enough trouble and trauma in the end when I was younger, so I don't feel bad in the slightest for doing this. But essentially, we're going to place this down in a little bit, and after I should probably get some food. We're going to place it down near a source of water because when we place it down, if you fail a wave, you do not, well, obviously do not get the loot reward. So I'm looking to complete all of the waves to get the max number of loot rolls for the waypoint. But if you place it towards or near a source of water, the Enderman will be auto-aggroed onto you. But obviously, since they're Endermen, and let's actually get rid of the shark too. We don't need monsters attacking us on both ends. We'll place it down, you'll see it graze out a little bit, and at the top there, you can see the wave starting in a little bit. And they spawn auto-aggroed onto you, but obviously since they're Endermen, they can't go in the water. So we will just kind of sit here and kill them, again, to get the maximum number of loot rolls. Again, a little bit cheap, not the bravest thing to do. But you can see after the wave is completed, the loot rolls drop, and we literally just completed the first one, and we already have 10 ender pearls. So more than enough to get our input costs back. And so I, though, definitely want more ender pearls, and I don't want to keep making them and fighting the waves to get them. But so you can see the top there, there is a time limit as well. So if you don't beat the wave in a certain amount of time either, it will technically fail. And so as this third wave is spawning, we will put away our loot rolls. And I will be back once I am done fighting this wave. So we got that wave done and dusted. Onto the next wave. And again, I'll probably just smack them. Probably cut and just smack them camera here. Very random gameplay, I know. Bouncing up and down, smacking Enderman. Very brave of me, but we will get the Ender Pearls one way or the other. And so with wave 5 starting, you'll see that there is actually it's a little more like a boss. You can see he has 65 hit points instead of a little bit more. So he has a little bit, I think does a little bit more damage, a little bit more health than the other Enderman, and he is actually on fire, so he will just continue to teleport. Nothing that we can't handle with our cheap underhand methods. And it looks like he actually fell into the water. I didn't even know that they could stop him on fire. But we will just kill here and get that completed. So again, we got the max number of loot rolls. Got some other drops too. These ender tears are from Evil Craft. You can actually turn them into gas tears with a little bit of blood. So we'll keep a hold of these in case we need them in the future. The Ender Pearl fragments, they are helpful for Forbidden Arcanus. For this dust, there are other ways to get it, however, I believe, but they can also be used to just turn into Ender Pearls in and of themselves. So we'll take all these out, get these put away, and now we don't have an Ender Pearl shortage. So now we've put everything away, we can go ahead and collect the Bounty Board quest reward, and just get, well, even more Ender Pearls. But so the next thing I do want to do is get started with hostile neural networks. For some reason, whenever I play with AllTheMods10, there is an abundant shortage of chickens. Chickens, though, are super important for getting spawned eggs, as well as their regular eggs, as we'll see uses for both of those later. The eggs for, primarily for productive bees, for making the bee spawn eggs, and then just other spawn eggs for spawner changing. But so we will create a model framework for hostile neural networks. So how this mod works. You have the model framework, of which you right click a mob for, and it will turn into that respective mob. As you can see, there are a ton of mobs that are listed in the hostile neural networks tab here. And so you will essentially kill a certain amount of the mob itself, and it will go to different tiers. So the first tier that you can see here for all of these is faulty, data collected 0 out of 6. You will need to kill at least 6 of each of every mob, besides for like the Ender Dragon, I believe. I believe you only need to collect 2 per Ender Dragon, or to turn it to the basic tier. So there are different tiers. It's like faulty, basic, advanced, and then all the way up to awakened. I think that's the top tier. And essentially what you'll do is, with some prediction matrices, you'll put it into a simulation chamber, and the simulation chamber will actually, well, simulate you killing the mob and, you know, rolling the loot table. And so if the prediction succeeds, you'll get a, well, prediction for the respective mob that you are simulating. When you get this prediction, you can put it in the loot fabricator up here, and then you can get to choose between different... Oh, that is scary. Let's go ahead and sleep through the night. That was a little bit too close for comfort, especially with all this wood here. But you can choose between different types of loot rewards. So for the skeleton here, if I right click, go to loot fabricator, you can choose per prediction between arrows, bones, skeletons, and rib bones. So there are, you know, certain items that you can get from each. And so we will also be creating a deep learner. And what essentially this does is, after we right click the framework onto a mob, we can put it inside of this deep learner and have it in our inventory and kill mobs, and have it count towards the data collected. So I will be back. I believe I know where some chickens are. I believe there's some just over yonder, and there's one I can see on the map here. I know there's others elsewhere. But so again, I'll right click this, get a chicken data module, and I will place it in here. I mean, you can actually put this on your offhand, and you can see up at the top left that there are, again, 6 remaining. You cannot put a faulty data model into a loot fabricator. But if we kill this guy, get some feathers, an egg, and some raw chicken, you can see the top right, or top left, I only have 5 remaining. So I'm going to go around a little bit, and looks like we got some chickens just stuck in the oil here. But I'm going to go around and kill some chickens until we get to 6. I essentially, since chickens are so rare, I just don't want to waste. I do need feathers and eggs, but I don't want to just go around and kill them for no reason. I don't want to waste their data, essentially. So we're going to go ahead and get this saved before we, you know, kill all of these guys. We are not, however, going to act on this data. So we're not going to make the loot fabricator or the simulation chamber. Basically, the reason why is because each of these machines will hold 2 million FE, which we could technically do since we're generating passive power, but it does take up a lot of FE. And for chickens themselves, if I can find the correct data model, I believe chickens, they don't take up a whole lot of FE. It's only 64 FE per tick, so it's definitely doable. But the higher up in tier it goes, the more FE per tick it costs. And it can go actually all the way up to 16k FE per tick, just for a faulty data model for the piglet. And so, again, with it being kind of power hungry for the stage that we're currently at, we definitely need to make either more thermo generators or move on to a more powerful power source. I just kind of want that data to be saved, so when we do need more feathers, we will have them available to us. And since we are on our last steel, I actually don't think I have any steel left in here. I do want to go ahead and create the alloy kiln. That's been on the to-do list for a little bit. And so we are going to make an engineering hammer to start off with immersive engineering. This will go ahead and start the quest for immersive engineering here. Go ahead and collect some bricks and some iron. Now, what we are wanting is, again, this alloy kiln. And I went ahead and made an engineer's manual. And the reason why I did this, and this is just made with a book and a lever, is because for a lot of the immersive engineering crafting recipes, you cannot find them in JEI. So if I come to search for immersive engineering and I'm looking for, let me see, what's a good example? Really any of the machines, I believe. And I'm actually not seeing any in here. But let's search up immersive and do a bottler. I believe a bottler should be in here. I'm not seeing it, but let's go ahead and just search up the alloy kiln. It looks like it's not even popping up in JEI anymore. I don't know if they got rid of it with one of the most recent updates, but as you can see, I have previously searched for an alloy kiln and found it, but if I left click it, I'm clicking here, there is no recipe for it. So with this engineer's manual, you can search up basically any of the blocks to use. So if we search up alloy kiln, you'll see here, you can click it and it shows the recipe and it makes 2 per craft. If I want to look up, let me try to look up the bottler in here, the bottling machine. So this is a multi-block structure, and with all the multi-block structures, you wouldn't be able to look it up in JEI, but essentially you can start and stop this, and you can see basically what's going to be needed to be placed per tier. You can also come to this question mark over here and see all of the required materials. But so we will go ahead and make the alloy kiln, and good thing I didn't shift left click. So with this mod pack, there are a lot of different recipes and sometimes overlapping recipes as well. So you can see here, these cream bricks obviously are not what I am looking for. So if you see, if there is a crafting recipe with overlapping recipes, you can come to the arrow here and change it. So we want the kiln block here. Now we can shift click and get all 8. For this, I'm thinking we'll probably move a lot of these items, but we'll probably start by digging out a little bit of a hole here and start with immersive engineering back over here. I believe it is just a 2x2, and if we right click it with an engineer's hammer, you can see the multi-block will then form. You do have to click it with the engineer's hammer, and you can see we get the interface now. So I'm going to go back and collect some iron and some coal. Let's do, we'll say 16, because I am running out of coal as well. I'm hoping that I do have some coal essence over there by the mystical agriculture to make some coal. It looks like this does, unfortunately, however, require fuel. So I'm going to go get a lava bucket from the nether and see if they're actually, just kidding. I am smart. Look at me being smart. I got some lava saved up here. Let's go ahead and put this lava in, go ahead and get that powered, and now we can get some steel ingots. And as you can see here, this is definitely a much more efficient way of getting steel. You can see just 1 iron and 1 coal will get you 2 steel ingots, as opposed to the steel compound that we used earlier, which is 4 coal and 1 iron. So much more coal efficient to use, especially when we're using lava buckets. We could also use some of the blaze rods as well, if we wanted to, from our blaze spawner. As promised, we are going to try to get the absolute bare bones minimum done with Applied Energistics from this episode. or in this episode. So if we go to the quest line, we can see we are almost there in regards to getting a system set up with the ME controller. So we are going to need a handful of things. The first thing that we are going to need is Fluix. And Fluix is used for a lot of the medium to higher end crafting recipes in Applied Energistics. There are, again, multiple ways to create Fluix and Fluix dust. However, there is an in-world transformation. And so if we look here for the in-world transformation, we see we are going to need the charged Certus quartz crystals, the nether quartz, and redstone dust. So I got just a stack of each here, and we'll throw it into this little water puddle here and watch it go. And I think it's double. Yeah, so it's double. And we can put it, I believe, in a crusher for the time being. Could put it in Scriber. Let me see. Yes, a mechanism crusher to create the Fluix dust. So we'll come over here to this crusher and just get about 32 of them. The next thing that we're going to need is we're going to need a lot of these processors. So in Applied Energistics itself, there are 3 main processors: the engineering, the calculation, the logic. They use diamond, Certus quartz, and gold respectively. We'll also need printed silicon, which is with the presses. And so we get all of these logic circuits with their respective presses. So when you're going around and exploring the world and you find the meteors, once you break that brain in the middle that the compass is pointing to, you'll get all these presses. So first we're going to throw in the silicon press and throw in our silicon itself. We are going to need power though. Let me go ahead and get a cable and get that powered. And this will go and turn into a printed silicon sheet. Then we could do the engineering press, which I like to think of it as, I don't know, engineer's diamond. It just makes sense in my head. I don't really know how to explain it. Now get us the engineering circuit. We can also throw in some gold with the logic press and get the logic circuit. And then last but not least, we can throw in the Certus quartz crystal and get the calculation circuit. So what I'm going to do for the time being is I'm going to I have some resources here kind of preset, but I will process these off camera for now because we don't have any cards to any of these acceleration cards to speed up this crafting process. So I'm going to get these crafted and we will be back when they're complete. As we are waiting for these to craft up though, I went ahead and made another inscriber and wanted to show kind of how to make the circuits. So in this one, we're going to put the logic circuit with the printed silicone and a piece of redstone in here. And this will make the logic processor. And basically the same thing for all of them. We will do the calculation with the redstone with the printed silicon, and that'll get the calculation processor. And then we'll do the last one with the engineering processor here. And so again, I'm probably going to let all these printed silicons craft up, get the gold, diamonds, and Certus quartz processed, and then turn them all into little processors. So unfortunately, I think my goals for this episode were a little bit too ambitious with everything else that I had planned. But so for next episode, we will continue with Applied Energistics. We'll get the drive and controller set up, and again continue down to hopefully transfer all of my items into an ME network. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.